Hi guys, how are you? Good weekend and wonderful week to come. This is the weekly Forex review for the week starting on the 3rd of September 2017. Previous week was very interesting one. We had a non-farm payrolls and it was the official end of summer, and as expected it was very interesting and soaring. And we got a lot of pairs that were moving, created opportunities. Some follow the trend, some follow the reversal zone that we were expecting for like few weeks now, and that was very nice week with great opportunities. And I hope you did very well. And if not, it's time to get ready for the period after summer. Refresh the energies, refresh the plan, refresh the goals, refresh the setups, refresh the cycles, and get ready to trade them. So the first one, let's cover that. Let's go for fundamental first of all, because we have some interesting things for this week. So first of all, very important update about Monday. Monday is a day off in the US and also in Canada, which is good for me. Good for me now. Then on Tuesday, it's most likely gonna be a quiet day without anything important. Maybe just in the beginning of the day we'll see some moves, continuation moves after Friday, but generally Monday should be quiet, without big money involved. So whatever happens would be just speculation money. Cash rate and a statement to be in Australia on Tuesday, followed by GDP as well in Australia, expected to be very good. So if there is no change of rates and the GDP turn to be good after the speech, of course, of Governor Law, we could expect Australia maybe to gain some power again if the numbers really come good and we don't see any party interruption from Governor Love. Australia, that would be good period for the Aussie. We have the services PMI in Britain Tuesday as well, and then we go to Wednesday, which should be very interesting. Trade balance in Canada, cash rate in Canada, the trade balance and the retail sales in Australia to follow. Very interesting one. Trade balance in the US. Thursday, rate in Europe, which probably would be unchanged, but the press conference would be very important one to follow. Trade balance in China on Thursday, and Friday another speech from Governor Love in Australia. Manufacturing production in the UK, and unemployment change in rate in Canada. So that's what we can expect fundamentally. Now let's go to the charts. Alright, so okay, here we are. You see the screen, right, guys? Let's start with the euro dollar. Euro dollar has reached a very important level that we have been talking about for a while, the 121. This one, let me just make the color here correct. Okay, this is the 121 zone that we have been talking about. Yeah, it's missed a bit, but let me remind you where it comes from. It all came from. We have this special cycle, which in my point of view might be changed, but I'll explain. That's the one, right? We were expecting to this area, kind of, the 121 zone, and we also said that there is a monster resistance right here, and it is a monster resistance. You can see that on a weekly chart. This is the first time ever it's coming to be retested, and you can see the reaction almost from the accurate level. Pretty amazing. First time, boom. We have the divergence on a daily cycle, on the weekly cycle as well, right? So it looks good, it behaves good, and we can see that it provides the opportunities that we wanted to see. Now on the 4-hour chart, we were looking for false breaks followed by convergence principles, and we got a false break on the trend line. We got a false break, few false breaks in a row here, And after this one, let me show you what I mean. After this one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, that did not provide the breakout and hold below, which means we could not really trade these shorts here, and the range that was broken. We got another move up. Now here I want to show you the special way it moves. After two false breaks, after triple double that did not create the opportunity to rejoin, normally what market does, and again it's not a mandatory, but normally what market does is boom, boom, and that's called a V pattern. Okay, inverted V pattern. And the reason for that, as it makes kind of a last clearance of levels, clearance of stop losses, clearance of the new money coming into longs. Why longs? Because, well, that I can guarantee you. I know. On that part right here with the breakout around the 119, whoever missed the ride of the previous leg here, try to join now here and continue the trend. Normally, this is exactly where the ranges are duplicated and retraced in a V pattern. Now again, it's not a mandatory, it's not like a wow, Vlad just discovered a new strategy. That's not the case, but the case here is that I just want to show you some tool to be able to work with. And normally, another normal thing, the top of such movements is created by a harami pattern or kicker pattern, and this is exactly what we've had here. This is a harami pattern. I just want to remind you what's harami pattern. One big green candle, one inner candle, which would be red, and the body should be inside the previous body. The spikes should be inside the previous spikes of the previous candle, and it should be lower than the green candle, of course. In that case, it's a really perfect setup for aggressive trade. But for conservative trade, what we have here is basically triple cycle down, double cycle up, that was bouncing immediately from a very, very good level. We wanted to see 50% retrace of this movement. And so that was really classical, that was really beautiful. And the question is, what's next? Now, from my point of view, I said before that there is a chance that this cycle is going to be a bit different, and that's what I tend to think would be, because it looks to me that this is the full cycle we have here, but that belongs to different leg. Let me just change the color like this. So all this blue cycle belongs to the green leg, which means after some correction we're gonna see one more push, very likely to something like 124, 126 zone. So the question is, two questions: is that correct? Or how deep could be this correction of the blue cycle then? So as long as this top holds the 121 zone here, we are after sales, and the target would be accordingly. So we have this entire cycle, so we can expect it to take us towards 38.2. That's definitely a possibility, but it also could go and play in a 23.6 roll and hold it and create for us some kind of a range here. So basically false break, movement, and then one push forward. That's definitely two possible scenarios, which for us don't change the game too much, but because as long as the top holds, we want to go for a sell. We would respect this area of the 117, but we also, if it is really broken with momentum, we would remember the possible level of the 38.2, which we have right here around 115. So I would be definitely looking for these shorts. I have my shorts running from the 50% here. Was good empty spike after the non-farm payrolls, which by the way disappointed for the first time of I don't know how long. Really disappointed, and we saw the reaction. Now the euro was the only one to react bearish. The rest was kind of happy by this news. So that's about the euro dollar, and that's the expectations. Let's move forward. By the way, this what you see now, it's thanks to one of the members in my club. Raise this idea. Now I know in the past I got these suggestions Vlad included inside, but it always for some reason was missing. And now I understood the real need, especially when we do the daily sessions, daily live rooms. So here we go. Thanks for the suggestion. I hope it helps, by the way, guys. I hope it helps and not disturb. Next one, pound dollar. Let's go. Okay. All right. So let's go. Okay, here. So pound dollar for longer run, we are still bullish, right? Just want to remind you that we have been talking about it for a while, and just want quickly to explain why. Here. Yeah, we of all this cycle, if neither is it double or triple, doesn't matter how we count, we even didn't reach the 38.2. So for us, basically, while we are above these bottoms, we are looking for buys, continuation buys. Very simple. No need to be genius here of reading a cycle. Just simple expectations. Now, according to the daily chart, we've had a triple cycle up that could and would still maybe go and correct the 50%, where from I would expect it to fly. Now, why I said could and might even do that? Because we've had a triple cycle down here on the pound dollar, right? Descending triple, so it starts from big and dropping lower. And we now get the correction up. That might be the area that we call the top. And here, the middle, right? Where from there is a good chance we are going for a second leg down. Now, for those of you who have a really good imagination, how do I do that? No, that's not the pattern. Where is my marker here? No. Where is that? Disappeared. Since so many years I use this system, I still don't know where all the buttons are. Anyway. Oh, I found it, Here. Here you go. No. What's that? Ellipsis, frame, line. Pen. Let's try this. Yeah. No. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's remove that. Let's go back to the pen and I'll draw it just with different color. And then I will go and learn what's done. For those of you who have the imagination, that's what I was trying to do. Could see here immediately what? A pattern that is called H. Right? And how do we call that? Head and shoulders, right? So in that case, if that's really here to hold, we can expect here a second push down, and this second push down, if we really are about to see the top, is going to take us towards most likely 127 again or the 125.20. Now, why it's great? Because the triple cycle levels bring us exactly to the same place, right? The 38.2 meets exactly the 61 expansion, and the 50% is now near the 100% expansion. So on the short term, there is a chance we are going down. On the long term, we are only after buys here, okay? Now, what does that mean? We need, first of all, to try and join the bears, right? We ideally get the breakout here and we hold above the top. We go for lower lows, regaining this momentum, and then possibly sell rallies. If that does not happen, the bullish pressure could go and continue and hold. So this could be the case as well. And that's why we have to remember Such conditions, like we have here on the pound dollar, are basically what I call tradable for both directions. Both cycles are acceptable. Both scenarios could happen. Which scenario would happen? Am I look like a predictor? Do I predict the weather? No, we are traders. Our goal is to trade what we get, right? So we set a plan for specific levels, specific cycles, and we follow it. In such cases, there are two possible scenarios which we need to follow. Now, the importance here is to get the invalidation and your validation. So how long is that valid, and what will make it invalid? So that's for the pound dollar. If we break and go lower, you know the targets. If not, we are going all the way up again, and we will be aiming the previous stops and new highs like 136, the gap area from Brexit period, and then even higher than that. So that's for the pound dollar. Now, as per levels, I just want to show you which levels we trade here. You see this level, this and this one, right? These are the ones that could be the problematic levels from the tops. And for the bottoms, we have it here, the 128, then we have the all the way down to the level we want to see the duplications, right? So very good to pay attention to these levels. As per tops, our top could happen at 6. So basically the first few days could still play around, dance around, and the 6th, day before, day after, we could finalize this top and start the movement, make the move down for the second leg, or just hold the continuation if the trend line is not broken and lower lows are not created. Euro pound, let's continue, guys. Well, what to say about this pair? I'll cover here quick recap from previous explanations. Okay, we have this, and we are bouncing from next to 61.8, and the full duplication of that, well, it's too far, it's irrelevant for us, but we have the 0.95 zone. We have been talking about that, 0.94, 0.95. Weekly chart is triple cycle, and we have 3 beautiful legs forming, bringing us to the same zone. We have a monster divergence here, really amazing. Daily chart got us that duplication area here, right? We are almost next to the 100, again next to 0.93, 0.94. And that's what we said. On daily we have 0.93, 0.94. On weekly we have 0.94, 0.95. This zone is a monster, and we are looking for sales. Targets. Last leg, 38.2. First of all, that's 0.91. 38.2 of the daily double cycle, that's 0.89. And then, if the bear's really ready to take the control, we are down to 0.84, down to 0.81. How good does that sound for a plan? Now, all that plan is relevant, of course, as long as this stop holds. But if this stop will not hold, and we get a new high, then we are going to the 0.95 up to 0.97 area, where I would expect the end of the bulls. But until then, we stay bearish. And you remember my setups, guys: 2 false breaks and convergential principle, right? And we got a false break here of this high, and we got a false break of this trend line, and we got the beautiful momentumal switch from here. We got a switch. We got it also in a beautiful pattern of a triple cycle. So we got, special cycle. We got it here, and we got a double cycle, and we got a breakout, right? Now that conditions are tradable. That conditions are normally where we get quick profits of 1 to 2 risk reward. Can we still sell the rallies? The answer from my point of view would be yes, and for me it is yet sell the rallies as long as we hold here. Until that moment I remain bearish. Now if we go to the crystal ball to get the tradable zones, by the way, I just want to show you here Take a look on the top. What is the date here for the top? 29. What is the first day of the top? The most powerful day by the statistics, 29. Now you see the amazing conditions crystal ball can take us to, right? And when cycles come with levels, come with statistics, come with divergences, come with the rules we follow, we got a setup. We got the perfect opportunity. And that's what we got with the crystal ball here. Now for the short-term levels, let's start with the 1 hour chart because it's closer. No, actually we don't have it closer here on the 1 hour chart. So 4 hour, 1 hour, in that case currently it might change and update during the week, of course. But currently this would be the ideal level to go to and look for sales. Will that go to that level? I'm not sure at all. Even this, yeah, currently they all have it there. No updates from the weekly. So we need to follow and see. We might get the rally towards that. If we do, we could start looking for possible sales opportunities from this level. So by ideal, of course, remember the corrections, ideal corrections are in 2 waves and then setups. Or in a range, boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's the best setups we can get. Next one on the list is the euro versus the kiwi, which is also on a monster cycle level. Why? Because of that 50% bounce from triple cycle of the weekly chart. 1 2 3 1 2, amazing setup. Daily chart, beautiful triple cycle which got us to here. 1 2 3, beautiful divergence. Can we really ask for more? False breaks 2 in a row. But the best setup here would be if we can go below this area and then look to sell the rallies, because that would provide the best opportunity, of course. And also I would like to see a triple cycle down here, so it should be something like 1 2 3 1 2 and breakout, like we had with the euro pound, like we had with the euro dollar, which I showed you before, guys. And that could be really, really amazing. As long as it didn't happen, we are on careful mode, as we might easily still get one more spike down, a spike up, and then form the setup. So around such levels, sometimes clearance happens. It's clearing stop losses, clearing the, because everyone tries, right? Everyone, oh, that's so good, that's so good. Sells, boom, short stop loss, boom, catch. Boom, short stop loss, boom, catch. It could happen. That's why the importance of the patience here and the right timing is so crucial. And that's the euro pound. But by the way, I just want to show, that's euro kiwi, sorry. This pattern is very, very powerful. Sorry, on a daily chart, guys. You see that? Empty. Wow. What's this arrow? Empty here. Okay. Inverted hammer. Yeah, you can call it falling star. You can call it dragon, flying dragon, whatever you want. Seriously, guys, I don't care of the names. And then we get a false break here of this high. That's two fat lines. Let's remove that. Here we got a false break of this line, and we got inverted hammer on Friday. This is a really good pattern showing that the bears are coming in. They might clear again a bit before they make the move, but it's going to happen. And the target for us would be 38.2 to 50 of this short-term cycle, and then the big cycle 38.2 of all that entire move, which is right here. Okay, so that's definitely an opportunity to follow and trade. Okay, let's continue, guys. Next one on my list, Aussie Kiwi, which is approaching to the 113 we have been talking about for a while. Those of you who are with me for a long time now, you remember how long we've been talking about the 113 area. I would expect a bounce there. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you guys, I invite you to go and to check my videos from around end of June, middle to end of June. We started to prepare this scenario saying this is going to be the bottom. We are going to fly to 113. Don't believe me? I encourage you, go and watch the videos from the middle to the end of June and you will see. And here we are, guys, a short while after, well, short enough, right? It's it's like 2 months, but still it's short enough when it comes to trading. And we are approaching here to monster zones, and I'm talking about this one, of course. Okay, take a look, guys. That's 161.8 on the 113, which is the weekly range top, right? We have this. What is it? Okay, we have this one as well. That's also almost 113, and we have the full cycle here, which take us to, guess where? Same zone. Well, in that case, as you know what I love to say, guys, right? Boy, oh boy. A monster is coming, a magnet zone is coming. Get ready. As simple as that. How? We are going to approach this level, most likely. It starts from 112. It could go and rally even a bit further to 113 or so. What we need to do, get our false breaks. It could be also trendline false break, alternative trendline connecting the tops, and lower lows. When that happens, ooh la la, we're gonna look for sells. The alternative in that case would be, because the daily chart is involved, we can also do that for on the 1 hour chart setups, right? Look for the false break and the scenario there. If there are no false break and convergence, we have one alternative, and this alternative called triple double, and that means like 1 2 3 1 2 breakout, and we are good to look for ourselves. As simple as that. Let's take a look on the crystal to get some idea here. Wow. See what's coming. Now, in terms of days, it could happen between 1st to 7th, which means this entire week could go and be dedicated for the bearish setups. Meanwhile, we remain long. Every pullback down is a buy opportunity. And if it doesn't happen here, it goes to 10, 11 or 14, 16. That's our range of periods where we are looking for the tops to be completed and created. Clear enough, guys, right? All right, so that's the Aussie Kiwi. Let's continue, guys. Aussie dollar. Now, Aussie dollar, honestly, I prefer not to deal with too much right now. For me, this top still is the critical one. As long as it holds, we can definitely look for sell opportunities, especially after the break of this trend line. But you see this break, guys? It broke and immediately retraced. These kind of signs are the signs where I love to call, okay, you know what, that's a game changer. I was looking for possible sells here with the breakout. But this immediate retrace up, that's the situations where it normally tells us what? You know what? Just let it go. There is a good chance it's not ready, right? And that's all. And in such conditions, just best to avoid. So, especially with all the news and the speeches come, I would avoid. If the numbers come good, bullish here, Aussie dollar is going to 081 area or 082 area following this cycle. Okay, we have it here, and it could be also the one to be covered on the current one, the last one. It's right here. So 081, 082 are the targets for longs if we manage to break and hold this resistance, and we just continue with the trend line covering this one false break. Okay, if the numbers are bad and we hold this top, then we are going for the second leg of the deeper correction, which would be looking like that. And then there is a chance we are going to the trend line again. Okay, let's continue, guys. I covered the most interesting opportunities from my point of view. Now I just want to go quick over the other things. Dollar cut. Well, this one I don't want to trade. Not interesting. Pound yen. Now pound yen is very interesting. We have been talking about this pair for a while. We said we are after buys and buys only. The lower and closer we go to the range, we are very close to the range. We have a divergence on the 4-hour chart. It was pretty amazing. Now we are building a triple cycle here. 1, 2, 3, right? So I believe that this area is going to be the short-term top during the week somewhere. I believe we're gonna get some correction, and at the end of this correction, as long as the low here holds, this low holds, I'm after buy retraces. So yeah, on the short term, I would expect retraces down. Long term only for buys for me. It does not change. And in terms of short term levels, we have it here, daily chart and slightly higher. 4-hour chart with same story. We have current one here, we have one a bit higher, and then even a bit more. All that are levels we could easily look for the short term setups provide us this correction. Now for possible short term top, by the way, as we are just inside the tunnel and we might get inside to retest that, we have the 7. So we have second and third, which means it could happen immediately with the beginning of the week, or we have the 7, which means I believe the short-term sell opportunities are about to be rebuilt during these days, the first days of the week. We're gonna get the opportunity and run the buys after that. So for those of you who got in the long involved, it's a great time to get your profits or short-term profit. Protect yourself by moving to the break-even and ride the rest. Let's continue, guys. Another one is pound franc, another pair that I was only after buys, and I still remain only after buys as long as this range holds. For me, it's only buys, and that's all. I have nothing more to say. We got the convergence, we got the retrace down, we got a rally. It looks good. Here we got the beautiful movement, right? So for me, it still was and remain the same. Every drop down comes, as long as the low holds, it's only good for buys. So those of you who are with me in the direction, remain bullish, and I would be aiming to the top of the range here, which is very far. Very far away, as long as the low holds, of course, because if the low doesn't hold, it becomes irrelevant, right? Pound kiwi broke the range. On the short term, there is a good chance that we continue for the second leg up. We have a trend line holding, and there is a good chance we are after something like that now. So for me, it was and remains bullish as well. I just want buys here. As long as this range holds, its decision is simple, right? We also have this trend line, of course, which will help us to buy retraces if we get them. As long as we hold. Remember that, because sometimes traders just tend to get overexcited, which is wrong decision. New Zealand Canadian continues its bearish move. Pretty amazing. No stops signs. We are aiming to the bottom of the range. Again, there is nothing stopping that, so why would we try to call a bottom? Bearish it was, bearish it remains. What else I had my interesting ones? No. This one not too readable to me. As for now. No. I made one analysis and oh, New Zealand, yeah, now this one is very interesting. We got a convergence on the 4-hour chart. Here. And we got a retrace. Right? So what we want to see now is the break here of this trend line. And then we can start looking up for the buy positions. All that situation is relevant as long as the last low holds, because if it is broken, then there is a good chance we are back to the deeper movement, and that means there is a chance we are going all the way to the bottom of the weekly range. Now, of course, the daily divergence is forming, so it could still go and do that for us. But for longer run, if we get a breakout here, there is a very good chance for continuation later on. Another scenario that could happen is that we actually go, hold, and get something like that to be a range or double wave correction. And then we're gonna create here something like that, bearish hidden divergence with a daily. Okay, in that case, if we get it, look for the sells. Now that's all I have for the Forex. Now there are many more pairs that are just currently at this stage are not really readable from my point of view, and that's why I don't include them. So don't think I missed anything. Just going and covering the ones that I believe are most readable and interesting. Gold was and remain long for long term. You remember that, guys. I don't have nothing else to renew you. There is a chance we are going to the 1370, 1380, but pay attention as we have already warning levels. If we get lower lows here, we are going for a bit deeper correction. So be careful here, and it also could go and for something like that for us now. 1, 2, and that will be the case. Okay, so currently the bullish long run remains, but there is a chance if the fallback and convergence completes, we are after possible retraces. And same with silver, who reached the 1770, 1780 zone where I believe we could get the retrace from. So we trade here carefully now with the longs. For those of you who are riding these trends we've been talking about for a long time now, it's a good place to cash out partials and look to reload your heavy guns on the retraces. For long run and investments, of course, the picture do not change. Indices, S&P broke the trend line here that we wanted to see following and holding. No setups. Again, no setups. It's been several times in a row now. This could be the scenario. We still need the lower lows. We still need this setup on a daily chart to give us the boost. All the short term, the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart, which we got here, well, they paid. They paid. We got a beautiful move down, right? Of, well, more than 50 points. But for long run, it's not enough yet. So again, for me, it's currently not tradable. I still in the view that we are looking only for sells, which means I'm ready to miss these buys rallies, which happen, which come and happen. I prefer to miss them rather than to regret them after. Nasdaq could play in between this current area all the way to 6100 to 6200, where I believe we are going to experience the second false break, also trend and false break. Then we go for lower lows and sell heavily rallies. Dow Jones, same currently, at least to me, nothing to trade. And the oil, well, oil for me was and remains only bullish. If we break above the trend line, we have the call to continue. So all these guys, it's just an update, because it's nothing new here, no changes really of the plans. It was and remains the same. There are plenty of amazing opportunities, so prepare your levels, guys, prepare your setups. Whatever the strategy you trade, remember what I always say. The most important thing is to choose the direction, cycle-based. You choose the direction, you go with the money flow, the big money flow, your trading becomes easier. Even if it means that you miss an opportunity. Miss is not a loss. And there is nothing to regret on a miss. We cannot catch all. We can catch the best. And that's where we should be. And I want you to remember that, because traders, especially the new joiners to the market, expect to trade every day, the whole day, to make 100 positions and just make the broker happy with the commissions, right? That's not the case. That's not how you make money. You make money when you select your positions with the best of the conditions, rules met all together. And how do you do that? You do it by starting with number one, and number one is the most important thing you have to do in your trading, and that's choose the right direction. And I don't think it will be right at the end, but right at the beginning is where we start with. And you do that by reading the cycle. Now, there is a chance you read the cycle wrong. I do read the cycles wrong sometimes. But again, we don't predict, we trade. And our goal is to choose the directions for sometimes, like you saw with the pound dollar. Both directions acceptable, right? But when you choose that, you give yourself the chance to earn fairly with the big money flow. So you get your setups in the direction you choose, and it doesn't matter what the strategy is, as long as you follow its rules, you will make profits. It is simple, guys, and I know it sounds like, wow, how good it sounds, right? Or like a dream or not a reality. That's what it is about. Technical analysis, systems, all that, that it's everyone on earth, including my little kids, can learn that. You need to learn to read the money flow, and that's the base of the cycle. And that's what we do, by the way, in the Traders Academy Club, day by day in the live rooms. So those of you who are in, we're gonna continue do that on the best way. If you are not in, it's time to join and enjoy the read of the cycles. From there, I don't care what is the strategy you use. You could be any of the strategies, mine or yours, trend or reversal, momentum or false breaks, step breakout, trendline breakout, whatever makes sense to you. As long as you trade with the right direction, you will be there. When you have your destination, it doesn't matter what car you drive, as long as you drive safe, you would reach your destination. Very simple. Same in trading. So guys, thank you for watching. Sorry it took long. It actually was long this week, sorry. And I wish you a wonderful week to come. Happy holidays to the American and the Canadians who watched this video on Monday. Long weekend here. And I'll see you in the club with the daily updates in the live rooms. Thanks for watching, guys. I wish you all the best. If you enjoyed the video, please show your appreciation by clicking the like below, subscribe to the video, to the channel, and leave your feedback. Your feedbacks is my motivation to keep making these things for you guys. So I hope you like them. I hope you enjoyed it. So that's all. That's the best I can do for you. Thanks for your time, and happy trading. Bye for now.